Chapter 10. Story of a Bell. Nancy and her father sat alone on the porch of the Chantry cottage. Ned had left, Bess and George were at the movies, and their hostess had not returned from her day's work at the tea room. "It's wonderful to be here with you, Dad," the girl said affectionately, "but I'm getting a bit restless. You hinted at my being able to help you on Mrs. Chantry's case. You haven't given me my job yet." "That's right, Nancy, but you must admit I was delayed in carrying on my own work. Thanks to you, though, I got out of that awful hotel. Now I can continue where I left off. Have you talked to Mrs. Chantry about the stock transaction, Dad?" "Yes, and she took the news like a soldier. Harry Tyrox and his gang cheated her out of a lot of money, and they must be prosecuted. I didn't tell her I'm afraid she'll never get any of her money back, but I believe she suspects it." The lawyer went on to say that he regretted seeing Mrs. Chantry work so hard, and how deplorable it was she had spent her savings so unwisely. "The job I had for you concerns Mrs. Chantry herself, Nancy," Mr. Drew went on. "I'm afraid if someone doesn't bolster her morale, she may break down." "Oh," escaped Nancy's lips. Then, "Shh, Dad, here she comes." Mrs. Chantry walked up the porch steps, looking very tired. Nancy asked about her day at the Salsindee shop, and she admitted she was having trouble again with her help. A waitress had given up her job without notice, and one of the shop's most reliable cooks had had an accident and was unable to work. "I don't know what I'll do," the tea-room owner sighed. "Since I didn't mix up too many orders last time, Mrs. Chantry, why not use me again?" Nancy volunteered. "I'd love to help, and I'm sure Bess and George would too." "It isn't fair to you girls," their hostess protested. "Didn't I invite you here for a vacation?" "And we're having a grand one," Nancy declared. "Why, it's fun at the Salsindee shop, and I have another reason for wanting to work there." The girl added, "I'm especially interested in one of your customers. The odd old man who dropped the paper telling about the XXX bell with the jewels in it," guessed Mrs. Chantry with a smile. "That's right. Did he ever come to claim it?" "No, he has never returned. The paper is still in the drawer at the shop." Early the next morning, Bess, George, and Nancy donned uniforms and once more took up their duties at the tea-room. The work was strenuous, but they enjoyed it. At noon, Nancy watched for the queer old man who had sat at her table once before, but he did not come. Nancy wondered if she would ever meet him again. She was very much pleased, therefore, when late that afternoon she saw the man come in. He paused at the cashier's desk, and Nancy heard him say in an agitated voice, "My name is Hendrick, Amos Hendrick, though I've been called A.H. all my life. Only this morning I discovered the loss of a certain paper. It's valuable, and I'll pay a good reward to get it back. I'm not certain I lost it here, but there's a chance it dropped from my pocket when I paid my bill." "I'll ask about it, Mr. Hendrick," the cashier replied. "A.H., if you please," the eccentric man said firmly. "I don't like to be called Hendrick." There was no need for the cashier to ask about the paper. Nancy identified the old man as the person who had sat at the table where she had found the strange paper. "And you're the pretty little waitress who served me so nicely and asked so many questions about bells," the stranger chuckled. As Nancy recalled, she had merely listened attentively to his story and hadn't asked many questions, but she did not correct him. Instead, she said she would get the paper at once. Nancy searched the desk drawer where the mysterious message had been placed. She fingered through bills and invoices without coming upon it, then searched the other drawers. The paper could not be found. Neither Mrs. Chantry nor any of the employees was able to throw light on its disappearance. Mr. Hendrick plainly was distressed. "That paper is very old and valuable," he mumbled. "I wouldn't have lost it for $1,000. Equally troubled by the loss, Nancy did not know what to say. "Don't you remember the contents of the message?" she inquired. "Course I do. That paper was found in my father's safe when he died, and I know the contents by heart. Thunderation! Do you think I want it to fall into the hands of a stranger?" "Then you believe that some other person may be interested in searching for one of those XXX bells." A.H. gave her a quick, guarded look, but did not answer. Edging toward the door, he muttered, "I do too much talking for my own good." George, who had joined the group with Bess, intercepted the elderly man. "You're making a mistake if you don't tell Nancy Drew here all about your mysterious paper and get her to help you," she exclaimed impulsively. "Why, she's solved more mysteries than you could count." The man paused. His eyes sparkled as he said, "Ganging up on me, eh? You girls are 3 peas in a pod, or I'm no judge. Now, why are you so interested in that paper I lost?" "Because we like mystery and adventure," Bess supplied eagerly. "Surely you've heard about Nancy Drew. After she solved the crumbling wall case, her picture was in half the papers in the country." "Bess," remonstrated Nancy, embarrassed. "Well, it's true." Mr. Hendrick had not seen the articles, but his interest was aroused. He asked many questions about the detective work Nancy had done. She was uncertain whether he was joking or serious when he inquired, "Well, how much will you charge to take my case?" "It's a tough one, I warn you." "I solve mysteries for the fun of it," Nancy laughed. "Suppose you tell me about your case, Mr. Hendrick." "Not here." "We might go for a walk along the beach." "Fine," agreed Mr. Hendrick with enthusiasm. "Come along, all of you." Walking a short distance down the shore, the girls led the old man to a seat on a half-rotted log amid the dunes. "To make a long story short, I've been interested in bells all my life," he began. "So was my father and his father before him. Know anything about bells?" "Only that they ring," giggled Bess. "No two ring alike. Some are high-pitched, some low. Some have beautiful tone quality, and others are so harsh they insult your ears. Bells are with us from the cradle to the grave. They rejoice in our victories and toll our sorrows. They have enriched historical moments, colored romance, and struck terror in the hearts of the superstitious. They even tinkle from the ankles of dancing girls." Bess and George stole a glance at Nancy, for they thought the man who insisted upon being called A.H. was a trifle touched on the subject of bells. Their friend, however, was deeply interested. "My father was a bell maker, and so was my grandfather," A.H. resumed proudly. "They learned the art in Europe, where they had their foundry. Know how to make a big bell?" Nancy replied that she had only a vague idea. "First you make a mold, and that takes a good many weeks if the bell is to be a perfect one. Then you pour in the hot liquid metal. You have to be very careful. If the mold is not properly constructed, or you don't wait until the metal sets properly, the bell will crack when you take it out. A large bell must be cooled for a week or two before it can be removed." "Tell us about American bells," Nancy urged, wishing to draw Mr. Hendrick into revealing more about the mystery. "The first bell foundry in this country was established by the Hanks family, ancestors of Abraham Lincoln on his mother's side," Mr. Hendricks related. "Then there was Paul Revere. After the Revolution, he built a furnace in Boston and cast small bells. He also made large ones for churches. During his lifetime, he cast nigh up to 200 bells." "What became of them?" inquired Nancy innocently. "Ah, there lies the story. 50 were destroyed by fire. One hangs in King's Chapel, Boston, but most of the others are lost. By that I mean they're scattered over the country, and the folks that own 'em probably don't realize what a treasure they possess." "Do you collect bells?" Bess inquired. "Yes, I do. I've toured the country up and down looking for them. Own maybe 50 bells of all types and construction, but the one I'm after eludes me. The XXX bell with embedded jewels," Nancy supplied softly. A.H. nodded. "That paper I lost was found in my father's effects and was written in my grandfather's hand. The bell was stolen from my grandfather's foundry. I've spent better than 8 years searching for that bell." "You found no clues?" asked George. "I found some, but nothing came of them. My search has been interesting, though. I've collected other valuable bells, and I've met a lot of nice folks. I use the Paul Revere story to get them to talk. Usually they end up by showing me all the worthless bells on the premises. There's one bell I wonder if you have seen," said Nancy thoughtfully. "According to the stories around here, it hangs somewhere deep within Bald Head Cave." "Oh, I heard that story when I first came here," the old man answered carelessly. "Nothing to it." "Why do you say that?" "Because I went there and looked around." "And you didn't hear the bell?" "No bell rang and no ghost appeared to warn me." A.H. chuckled. "It's just one of those superstitious tales. Want to hear a yarn about the bells of Notre Dame?" Nancy was far more interested in keeping the conversation centered upon Bald Head Cave, but she listened politely to the story the old man told. When he concluded, she said quietly, "About Bald Head Cave, I can't understand why you didn't hear the bell. When my friends and I went there, we not only heard the warning bell, but we barely escaped with our lives." Instantly Mr. Hendrick became attentive, asking many questions. "I must go there again," he exclaimed. "Tomorrow, perhaps." "You'd better take us with you," Nancy suggested. "After our experience, I'm sure you shouldn't go there alone." A.H. chuckled. "I can't swim a stroke, I admit. Maybe I could use the help of 3 athletic girls if I should get in a tight spot with that ghost." Arrangements were made to meet the old man the following afternoon at one of the boat rental docks. The girls arrived 10 minutes ahead of time. Amos Hendrick soon ambled along. "I want it thoroughly understood before we start," Bess announced as she climbed into the boat, "that we're not setting foot inside the cave. It's too dangerous. We can hear the bell without going inside." "Agreed," said A.H. "But I warn you, if I should hear a bell ringing, no telling what I'd do." Nancy took the helm of the motorboat, and they made a speedy trip to the foot of Bald Head Cliff. No fishermen were nearby, and the entire shore appeared to be deserted. Nancy shut off the motor, allowing the boat to drift close to the shore. "Don't go any nearer the cave," Bess warned, becoming nervous. "It's dangerous." A.H. said nothing, but from the way he smiled, the girls knew he considered them overcautious. For half an hour Nancy kept the boat hovering near the cave entrance. Nothing happened. "I'm getting tired," Mr. Hendrick complained. "Why don't we go ashore and—" He broke off, listening intently. Nancy and her friends also had heard the sound. Deep within the cave, a bell tolled mournfully. "It is a bell!" cried the old man excitedly. "A mighty good bell, too, with fine resonance and tone quality. It sounds like those my grandfather made years ago." Forgetting the girl's warning, he seized an oar and started paddling the motorboat into the cave. "No, no!" exclaimed Nancy, grabbing his arm. "We mustn't disregard the warning. I must get that bell." A.H. climbed to the gunwale to jump out. Until next time.